Okay, so that said, hey guys, happy holidays. Last week I asked about how to deal with industry-specific template sites, and I got a ton of good suggestions. What happens if nothing works out? Would it still be a good idea to do some off-page SEO or just walk away? I'm assuming what you mean is like those like done for you site templates that are, there's nothing wrong with those, except I would uniquify, is that a word? But I would uniquify the content a bit. Like if the site structure, if the framework of the site was built coded well, and it's not some junk shitty code that, and a lot of the times the problem with those template type sites are they're not maintained very well. And so, various WordPress updates and things like that, or they weren't coded well to begin with. So just keep that in mind. Let's just assume that they are, though. Okay, Mohammed. Then a lot of those sites are fine, except that it's duplicate content. That's not an issue, guys, normally. But what I would suggest that you do is try to make the content somewhat unique, have it rewritten, add some additional paragraphs, things like that. Try to localize the content more. You can even embed, like local event news feeds and things like that from local newspaper sites. There's event calendars. I'm not sure if you can embed a Facebook events, but Facebook events is a great way to add dynamic content to a website, or to, localize content. So I'm not sure if there's a way to iframe that in or not. There probably is. I haven't done it, but all I'm saying is just try to do stuff to make them more unique, because remember, if you can buy those templated sites, so can others, which means they're probably going to be used all over the web. So try to make it a little bit more unique. As far as off-page SEO, yeah, absolutely. As far, I wish it was so easy that you could find a template that you would buy, install on a domain, and it would rank, but that's not the case, Mohammed. If you ever find that, don't share it with anybody but me. Okay, just so you know. So yes, off-page SEO is likely going to be required. Go ahead.
I think the problem with this is that he didn't have access to the back end. He couldn't get into it.
Okay, so yeah, I remember this question now.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Marco.
And so my suggestion to him is, why don't you try ranking your own assets and selling the leads to whoever it is that's running the website? I mean, if it's a must-have client and you can't get to the website and you can't do anything with it, they won't install a subdomain with WordPress, then why fight the feeling, man? Just go with your own assets and get them leads. Maybe once you provide the leads and you show what you can do, they'll actually give you the access you need.
Yep, and that's a good point. And so I apologize. I thought you were talking about like those agency type sites, but you're talking about proprietary site platforms. So and I totally get what you're saying. So that's like somebody that's has a website not built on WordPress. You can't have access to the back end, all that. So we talked about last week adding a subdomain with WordPress on it, and that's typically what we do in those types of situations. But if you can't even do that, if that's not even an option, okay, that's sometimes the case, then what Marco said is absolutely true. That would be my next step. Go ahead and set up your own assets, rank those, and then sell those leads, or do a rank. You can even do just a rank and rent method. If however you want to monetize that is fine. You could lease out those properties to the companies, your prospective companies, or you could do pay per lead or whatever. Okay, so I totally agree with Marco on that.